Hello, everyone. I am Domenikos, and my talk today is about the thrilling potential of touch in AR, VR applications. So we all grow up interacting with the physical world and with objects around us, primarily through our sense of touch, through our hands. Without touch, we cannot walk, we cannot find our balance, we cannot explore the world around us. We cannot develop a sense of that world. Do you know that touch is the first sense to develop in the womb, the very last sense to go? Without touch, there is no development nor growth. And today, as we see our technology evolving, increasingly the digital world is melded with our physical existence to create a new immersive computing paradigm that we call it augmented reality or virtual reality or mixed reality. And you can see in this new paradigm, in the many, I'm sure, videos and demonstrations you have experienced, of users of AR gear, or VR gear for that matter, interacting with this melded existence using our hands to press buttons or click on virtual controls that are not really there. And when we look at all these videos and demonstrations of this new technology, we cannot help but observing a paradox. What is a paradox is something that is really different from what it seems to be. And that paradox is while all these demonstrations of great technology entail using our hands as their primary interaction tool, still today, with all our advances, hands do not feel. Hands feel nothing. Hands feel no sensation in this new melded reality. And we think the thinking behind this immersive paradigm has to do with the approach that we have taken so far, where we have taken the physical world, and onto this world we have superimposed virtual objects. And in doing so, we have been conditioned to believe that we need to only satisfy the visual sense as the most dominant of senses, and nothing else really matters. So we think by thinking this way, however, we create an ineffective view of this melded reality, and we could actually do a lot better if perhaps we think of reversing the paradigm, to think of the virtual or digital world first, onto which we layer on or paint on our physical reality. And by doing that, we are now opening up the opportunity to incorporate the rest of our physical senses, and most importantly, our sense of touch. So AR, VR has a huge gap to fulfill to satisfy the promise. Without the physical dimension of touch, we cannot really have a seamless interaction, and seamless interaction drives adoption. So at Tactile, at my company, we aim to fulfill this gap by making the hands feel. And I want to spend a few moments to tell you about the technology of touch and the science behind it. It has taken us many years of scientific research to create devices in a very compact, wearable form that you're going to see it in just a moment, to really bring the missing sense of touch into this virtual world where you can touch, feel, click, push, twist, explore virtual objects with pretty significant realism. To do that, our team had to delve deeply into the physics of touch. We had to look at biology to create the algorithms that mimic biology in terms of how we interact with this world. First, we had to actually create a tool, we call it our Haptic Scanner. That tool allows us to actually record in a few seconds how objects feel. And we create a mathematical model of that representation that we store in our database. And then we can actually use that mathematical model to recreate a sensation under an infinite permutation of exploration speed or exploration pressure. Once we have this model, we have to actually create a device. So this is Tactile Touch. That is the device that you see there that fits on your fingertip, that allows you to experience the modalities you associate with natural touch. That is, click, feel, grasp, lift, pick up. Feel the softness or the hardness of a virtual object. Feel the smoothness or the roughness. Feel the temperature, warm or cold. So imagine, you can actually touch something that is not really there and feel these sensations using this device. This is the current representation of the device, and this is where we're going with that. We understand the importance of how critical it is to enable exploration of physical and virtual objects at the same time, having a very small footprint, a very small form and function. This is a user of the device. And I want to show you a few videos of actually the technology in use of people exploring different objects. If you can play the video. This is actually someone exploring two footballs, trying to guess which one is deflated for the obvious reasons, being in the Boston area. Okay? Now, can you tell me, is there any other way actually to do that unless you have the sense of touch? You cannot satisfy this query with a visual. So this is someone actually playing with a prehistoric object, a rare object like a dinosaur's egg. And you can play the object there. You can actually feel the texture of the egg, comparing to the texture of the statue next to it, MOI from Easter Island, or perhaps the wooden chest below. Imagine to be able to feel the rock and feel the egg. That is really what we associate the modality of natural touch. And next, if I can go to the next frame, play the video, please. This is actually someone grasping a squeezy toy with their hands, feeling that squeezy toy. The toy actually squeezes as you grasp it, if you have the audio, and trying to kind of see what happens. So all of those are the things we associate with a natural touch, and we believe it is critically important to incorporate this sensation into our new world. The technology is here today to allow us actually to create powerful new experiences with a sensation of touch that will enrich our communication and enhance our interactions. We actually showcased this at CES. This is the CEO of MasterCard using our device this last week.
Oh my gosh.
And the responses are, oh my gosh, it's freak, you're amazing. And this is Damon John of Shark Tank, came by to our display to actually try the device. And it's very rewarding for us to hear something that is now can in fact be commercializable in a very small footprint that elicits, that evokes that kind of reaction. This is Tactile, that is what we do, and thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.
I have a quick question. Of people that have Apple Watches, how many people are really appreciating and experiencing the different touch vocabularies that have been invented on Apple Watch? You know, the subtle, you love it? And pay attention to it? And how many can you differentiate? How many types of touch can you differentiate on your wrist?
So how about infinite, right? How about infinite? All this is dynamic. That's really the core part of our technology. So the stone feels like pretty much like stone. The egg feels like an egg. Paper feels like a paper. And this is really important. What I want to stress, you saw a very small device that, if I have one in my pocket, I think I have it in my briefcase, it costs $12 to make. $12, okay? That's the bomb. All the magic is in the software. And we've chosen to use this as a reference design for exploration purposes. We actually have a grounded device in the lab, weighs about 10 pounds, costs about $5,000, a different reference design. But in that device, you can actually tell the difference between cotton and silk, or wool and silk. And that, the point being is that the technology is upon us to actually incorporate this sensation that I feel personally as a technologist, we have chosen to ignore, assuming that the visual is the most dominant of senses. And without this kind of technology to bring the physical dimension of our natural extension into this world, we think that is absolutely critical to drive adoption. It is like having a movie without sound. VR or AR without touch is movie without the sound. Interesting, but not too compelling. You got to add the sound, you got to add the touch. Thanks very much.
So as Ralph comes up, just one more question, and I want to ask the question, when are you coming out with a bodysuit?
Yes, that's next. Yes. I'm not sure what standards you're referring to.
It's the standard, IEEE
I'm not sure. No, I don't think I can answer the question specifically. I'm not familiar with something. We can take it offline. I'm not familiar with that.
I introduce you to Ralph.